I have been convinced that there is something that is not solid about that person. It's a crazy sentence.
I have been convinced.
Oh my god, man, if anyone ever says it about me, I've failed. Episode 18 was Elon Musk? Dude, this guy was astroturf. I understand Putin's perspective that journalists can be seen as the enemy of the state, in context of the fact that you blocked an AI researcher who was simply suggesting you get your study peer-reviewed before you talk about it. That's Lex Fridman. I have some strong feelings about Lex. I have strong feelings about Lex because Lex doesn't seem to have strong feelings. And I've been interested in why Lex is so popular. And I kind of want to do a little deep dive this evening into Lex Fridman. You're telling me Lex freed those men? You're telling me a Lex fried this man? You're telling me a Lex fried this man? That's crazy. Yeah, we're gonna go into Lex because there's some sketchy background. There's some sketchy shit with Lex. There's some sketchy fucking shit, and I want to crack it. I want to crack it open. I want to crack Lex wide open, like an egg, and look at his brain. Lex Fridman. What do I look up here? Lex Fridman astroturfed? No. Lex Fridman fake. There we go. Is Lex Fridman a fraud? I knew there'd be a video.
Like, I'm a total bro.
There you go. I knew there'd be a video on it. There we go. 1 year ago by Dicey. 12.6k subs. Go give Dicey some love. Here we go. Here we go. Are you joying my friend right now? Who up joying their friend? Why is Lex Fridman popular plus Reddit? Is Lex Fridman really plus Reddit? I'll do that after this.
Oh, in a sense, like, I may not look like it, but I have like a Rogan inside me. I really am a man's man, except for the times then like Harvard Square and academia rubs off on me. But for the most part, man's man.
What does a man's man mean? May I?
There's just a list of stupid shit you do. Like, I like lifting heavy things. I like building stuff. I love the idea of hunting. I love fishing. I like knives and guns and
risk.
I really, look, man, I have a Rogan inside me. Yeah, he does have a fucking Rogan inside him. He's got Rogan inside him fucking 5 nights a week, man. Jesus Christ. Joe Rogan is his spirit animal. I really hate performative masculinity. I really hate this obsession with as a man performing things that you deem as manly because you like try to have some sense of identity. You know, saying like I like building things. Like, you know, you shouldn't have to state those. Also, it's okay to be a dude and like other things. What is a man's man? You know, is a man when you describe the concept of a man's man? What is this? What's up, brother? You got half a shirt on. What are you doing? You got half a shirt on. Where'd you get that? What the fuck are you wearing? Where'd you get that shirt? What the fuck is that? He's got half a shirt on. You know, and as somebody who used to do this, as somebody, you know, when I was a younger man, I think I had a more abstract and loose sense of self. And when I did that, I feel like I was like really into the concepts of like performative masculinity. Like I loved the idea. I would say shit like that. I loved the idea of hunting. What kind of fucking sentence is that? I love the idea of hunting. You love the idea of, like, you love the concept of hunting? Why? What does that mean? It's just such a silly thing to say, and it's such a silly way to act. I'm sorry, I'm not pinning this all. I'm not pinning this all on Lex just from his that one sentence he just said. I'm just, you know, extrapolating out to the concept of performative masculinity. It's so fucking stupid, dude. Just do what you want to do, and be a good man. But masculinity isn't a set of interests. Masculinity and healthy masculinity is not a collection of interests and hobbies. Okay? Masculinity and what you should strive to be as a man who wants to be a masculine person is taking on responsibility, protecting those around you, giving direction for people, being a North Star for people, not letting your emotions get in the way, being selfless, right? Those are masculine. Those are good traits, but like, you know, traditionally in a narrative sense of like a narrative masculinity, those are masculine traits. Masculinity isn't fucking hunting and fishing. Those are hobbies. Those are hobbies. Those are not character traits. You can't define yourself by the fact you like fucking fishing. The ideal Archad man is stoic as fuck. He is stoic as fuck. And if you watch the video and you watch the whole stoic video, you'd realize I love stoicism. Nobody loves stoicism more than me. Okay? Nobody loves stoicism more than me. But I got a few issues with it. Watch the video. I don't know if that's really masculinity, though. I gotta watch 30 hours of Hamza content to see if you're right. Yeah, go watch a YouTube video that teaches you on how to be a man. Sorry, I'm a YouTube guy telling you how to be a man right now. Go, I don't know. Go read the Bible and, like, get a girlfriend. You'll figure it out.
He literally sounds like he's LARPing as a male. Ah, yes, I like
Yes! Dude, right off the bat.
lifting heavy things. I also like knives and guns. Therefore, I'm a man's man, and you better respect my authority. So as you know by now, this video is about Alexei Fedotov, more commonly known as Lex Fridman. Lex is a researcher and podcaster that has gained quite a bit of popularity in the last few years. I came across Lex through social media clips of him with Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and a lot of other prominent folks. So even before I knew anything about him, he had an aura of legitimacy solely because he associated with widely successful people. But ever since I saw this guy, something just didn't feel right about him, and I couldn't.
That's awful. That's a bad dude. Lex, you gotta wipe that photo off the internet. Why do you look like a baby who's pooping his pants? He's got the fist clenched. He doesn't even have his hand on their waist. He looks like a baby shitting its diaper.
Pinpoint it. So when I was digging around on topics for my next video, I finally decided to dive into the Lex Fridman rabbit hole, and there was a lot of questionable things I found about the guy. For example, he portrays himself to be someone more than he actually is. He has deliberately created an image that does not necessarily correspond to reality, and he is simply misleading people. Many of his fans believe that he is or was a professor at MIT or studied at MIT, which isn't true. A lot of his academic accolades are exaggerated or misrepresented. He's also a Tesla shill, and more specifically an Elon Musk shill. He was kicked out of the MIT Age Lab group for his non-peer-reviewed report shilling for Tesla's self-driving capabilities. But I think his biggest crime is that he's boring and cringy. He robotically asks the same handful of naive questions and gets weirdly emotional and defensive about random topics from time to time. Like, he has this shtick where he talks slow in order to make himself seem more articulate, but all it does is make him seem disingenuous. So sit tight and maybe buckle in while we discuss all things Lexi. And if you do enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you know anything about Lex, then you know that he always refers to himself as Lex Fridman, MIT research scientist, at every opportunity. But what he always fails to mention is that he wasn't even educated there or in any way employed by the university. What he did do there was that he taught a January term class, which isn't as impressive when you realize anybody can give presentations at MIT, not just professors. A January term class is closer to a book club. Students have the option of taking one class that interests them during this term or staying home and coming back for the spring semester. It's basically a free-form month for knowledge sharing. During that period,
He always looks rancid. Jesus Christ.
Any-
Dude, if anyone ever described me as looking rancid, I'd fucking blow my brains out.
Anyone can put together a call, and anyone who wishes to attend, MIT affiliated or not, can attend. Oh, and it's all not for credit. Here's a quote from an actual person from MIT. It states, "I've come across a handful of people in the last few years that figured out how easy it is to become vaguely affiliated with MIT. Then they use the university email and some spin to their affiliation, and all of a sudden they've gotten a bunch of new opportunities. And it only builds from there. People within academic circles will know the difference, but outside, not necessarily." Lex definitely raises some red flags on this front. The dude randomly requested me on LinkedIn 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw we had a lot of MIT mutual connections. At the time, he was teaching. It's not difficult at all to organize a January term class. Many undergraduates even do this, but most don't use it to claim that they are a lecturer at MIT. Lex actually studied at Drexel University, which is a good but lower ranked university. His father is also a professor there, but he never mentions Drexel, and if you bring it up in his sub and ask him about it, you get banned. You will also get banned if you constructively criticize him or any of his guests. He is a research scientist at MIT, but it is an unpaid position, and he has never been a professor. He purposefully allows the misconception to propagate because it benefits him to have people assume his science is better than it is. Another fun tidbit is that if you look at his LinkedIn profile, he has math functions in the back, which seems to be a theme. Like, here's him standing in front of a classroom, again, with some math functions on the black.
He is, like, look, people, to do some Lex Fridman damage control, okay? People will hear this and they'll be like, okay, I think a critique that Lex gets unfairly is that he's stupid, that his whole life is a lie. And that I don't agree with. I don't think he's an unintelligent person. I just think he has some nefarious motivations to his podcasting and like what he believes in. This is where I see a little, I see some problems. I see a little bit, there's some stinky about Lex. There's something a little stinky about Lex. And sometimes I want to figure out where the stench is coming from, okay? There's a Lex Fridman is stinky diaper. And I want to figure out if he pooped his pants or if he just smells like that all the time.
Board. But here's the thing, those functions have nothing to do with the class that he's teaching. The things on the blackboard were there from another class before his, and I know this because you can watch some of his lectures on his YouTube channel. But he keeps the math and purposefully includes them whenever he can to make himself seem smarter than he actually is. Even his LinkedIn page is misleading. He also claims on LinkedIn that he worked at Google for 1 year. It reads Google Researcher 2014 to 2015. However, the truth is that he worked there as a visiting researcher for less than 4 months. In 2019, Lex Fridman released a study in which he claimed that contrary to a mountain of literature about human-machine interaction, drivers using autopilot remain vigilant and attentive. For this next part, I'll be referencing an insider article written by Julia Black, as it does well to capture the full picture of what happened and has some great resources to back it up. The article states, though Fridman has touted affiliations with MIT and Google, AI and machine learning experts who spoke with insiders said Fridman lacks the publications, citations, and conference appearances required to be taken seriously in the hyper-competitive world of academia. When AI professionals on Twitter challenged Fridman's research methods for the Tesla study, he blocked them en masse.
Ooh, that's saucy. That's a little saucy. He does block a lot of people. Who got blocked by... Someone I personally know got blocked by Lex. Was it We're in Hell? Someone I know personally is blocked by Lex Fridman. I don't know who it is, but like he does block a lot of people.
Soon after the study was published, Fridman moved his prestigious MIT lab to an unpaid research role. A former H-Lab staffer recalled Fridman telling him that he wanted to amass a giant amount of followers. Philip Pekniewski, a computer vision and AI researcher who became one of Fridman's most vocal critics, said it was clear from the very beginning that he's positioning himself to become one of the celebrities in the space. The MIT seal of approval was likely enormously valuable to Tesla. Its autopilot feature had come under intense scrutiny over several widely publicized fatal crashes involving Tesla vehicles. The company was hit with a class action lawsuit that described autopilot as essentially unusable and demonstrably dangerous. But Musk insisted that his technology did not require human intervention, going so far as to brand the feature autopilot instead of copilot. Academics in AI began to pick apart the study's methodology. They criticized the small sample size and suggested the participants likely performed differently because they knew they were being observed, a phenomenon known as the Hawthorne effect. Missy Cummings, a former MIT professor who served as a senior advisor for safety at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, has called the report deeply flawed. What happens is people like Elon Musk take this and then try to make a big deal about it and say, I've got science on my side. I personally do not consider Lex a serious researcher, Cummings recently told Insider. When Anima Anand Kumar, a well-known AI expert, tweeted in 2019 that Fridman ought to submit his work for peer review before seeking press coverage, Fridman blocked her and many of her colleagues, some of whom had never—
Whoa, what? Ought to submit his work for peer review before seeking press coverage. Fridman blocked her. Sorry, I have fucking Zin hiccups. Jesus Christ, why does this happen to me? Oh my god. I gotta lock in on the Zin hiccups here. Blocked her is insane.
Never even engaged in the discussion. Fridman did not respond to several interview requests and requests for comment. He told the historian Dan Carlin during one episode, journalists annoy the hell out of me. So I understand from Putin's perspective that journalists can be seen as the enemy of the state.
Oh, Lex, it's a bad quote, Lex. Lex, come on, Lex. I want to like you, Lex. And you're fucking up. You're fucking me up. I understand Putin's perspective that journalists can be seen as the enemy of the state. In context of the fact that you blocked an AI researcher who was simply suggesting you get your study peer-reviewed before you talk about it. That's fucked.
Many of Fridman's peers had another reason to be suspicious of the study. Fridman's admiration for Tesla CEO was well documented. He was an active participant in Tesla fan forums. He'd been photographed with Musk's Boring Company flamethrower, and in a 2018 tweet that's since been deleted, he asked Musk to collaborate on a fully autonomous cross-country drive. Musk had even tweeted about Fridman's Tesla-friendly research in the past. One former MIT colleague of Fridman said many people in their field believed that being closely associated with Musk could be a career boon. Lex was relatively excited to get in touch with Elon Musk and get into his good graces, said the former colleague, who asked to remain anonymous to avoid professional repercussions. It's fair to say that his plan worked, because 2 weeks after releasing the study, he got invited to do a podcast with Elon Musk and then later went on to be invited to Joe Rogan.
Are you a fan of the YouTuber Elephant Graveyard? A great Canadian.
Oh, thank you for the 5 there, Ryler5. No, I feel like I've heard of that channel, but I'll check that out. I'll check it out after this. We are looking for a new studio member to join the little CCCRU, to join the club. So I'm always interested in finding YouTubers I can reach out to if they're in the area. A younger brother's phone. Sorry, what episode 18 was Elon Musk? Dude, this guy was fucking astroturfed. That's insane. I'm on episode 40 of my podcast. We just got Turkey Tom. It took us 40 episodes to get Turkey motherfucking Tom. Guys, what's the video called? It is called Is Lex Fridman a Fraud by Dicey Dicey. Right there. So go watch this on your own discretion if you want to rewatch it.
He got invited to do a podcast with Elon Musk and then later went on to be invited to Joe Rogan. Since then, his podcast has really boomed, so his career definitely benefited, but his academic integrity, not so much, because he was kicked out of the MIT Age Lab group after his non-peer-reviewed report shilling for Tesla's self-driving capability. A trend that I noticed on Lex's podcast is how much he really talks about Elon. He will bring up Elon at the most random times and ask his guests weird-ass questions about Elon. Like, here's a compilation I made of him saying Elon's name for 1 minute straight.
Guy named Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon is Elon. Elon Musk. 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 Elon has Elon is Elon Musk. Mr. Musk. Elon 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 is Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Elon.
Not sure if you were counting, but he said Elon's name 125 times in that 1 minute, and that's not even all the times he's mentioned his name. I lost too many brain cells compiling that and couldn't be bothered to go through the rest of his podcast. But it's safe to say that he's an Elon groupie. And if you still don't believe me, here's him asking his guests about how much they also love Elon.
Ask, what do you admire most about Elon?
That's a crazy question. That's a crazy question to fucking ask your podcast. I'm imagining myself in the scenario of like on my own podcast, on any of my guests being like, hey man, I know you do whatever you do. You're a historian, a podcaster, a fucking YouTuber. What do you feel about Elon Musk? How do you feel about Elon Musk? The man full of love, empathy, emotion, and power. How do you feel? How do you feel about Elon Musk? Fuck.
Okay, you've talked to Elon quite a bit. You've written about him quite a bit. Just it'd be cool to hear you talk about what are your ideas of what the magic sauces you've written about with Elon. What makes him so successful? His style of thinking, his ambition, his dreams, his the people he connects with, the kind of problems he tackles. Is there kind of comments you can make about what makes him special? What do you think about Elon as an engineering leader? Having to experience him in the most chaotic of spaces, I would say. Can you psychoanalyze Elon in that aspect? Like, is it just he can't help it? He must see the change. What do you admire
about Elon Musk? You can tell he loves all the perks of being BFFs with Elon and will chill so fucking hard to not lose them. All in all, Lex Fridman just comes off as very fake to me. He attempts to cultivate the image of an intellectual warrior / philosopher / poet, but in the end he fails at all of them. He misrepresents his role at MIT to make himself sound more accomplished than he really is. He faked his paper on driver inattentiveness.
Oh, he looks cool there with his long hair.
In self-driving cars to curry favor with Musk. He's overwhelmingly dull, but is he a fraud? I guess it's up to you to decide, and I'd like to hear it. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And before I sign off, here's a couple more excerpts from the Insider article that I felt were worth sharing. An AI expert who knows Fridman thought that perhaps the podcast host abandoned academic rigor in pursuit of fame. It's almost as if he sold his academic soul to get an interview with Musk, the expert said. Another quote states, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the mathematical statistician known for writing the book The Black Swan, blasted Fridman on Twitter in January, sending mail with heading, quick note from MIT, when podcast has nothing to do with MIT is shoddy as hell, Taleb tweeted. Taleb said he turned down 10 invitations from Fridman to appear on his podcast.
Damn, 10 times. I've turned out. I mean, Nassim Nicholas Taleb has his own problems. You can go. I think Sam Harris and him had a lot of beef. Taleb seems like a huge fucking narcissist. But 10 invitations. I have been convinced that there is something that is not solid about that person. It's a fucking crazy sentence.
I have been convinced.
Oh my god, man. If anyone ever says it about me, I've failed.
That there is something that is not solid about the person, Taleb told Insider.
And your bullshit, because I hope I'm somebody you can trust.
I don't fucking trust you.
A few moments later.
But I gotta tell you, I have to be honest. I don't, this is silly because you don't know me, but it hurt when you say you don't trust me. You kind of lost me. I don't think anyone's ever said that to me. I don't know, man. Fuck that. I just thought you were one of the greatest artists ever. It'd be cool to talk to you. And never had anyone say that to me. Maybe I'm just being a mess about it, I guess. That's fucked up though. Wouldn't that be interesting if like if we travel in time, like multiple centuries, where the entirety of the communication of the human species is like humor? Like,
Oh my god, man. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Oh, too lazy to try. Oh yeah, this is a 3-day-old video. Lex Fridman's a fraud. Oh, this is The Empire's collapsing, boys. The Joe Rogan cinematic universe is collapsing. We're late game here. There's been too many spin-offs. There's been too many bad sequels. There's been too many low-budget TV spin-offs of side characters that no one cares about. And I think the Joe Rogan cinematic universe fandom is dying. And maybe rightfully so.
they call me Brian Callahan. And the real
work he's done there has been questioned a lot, and other experts in his field have
That's from the last video.
heavily criticized some of his research because he's mostly known for doing this research paper on the safety of Tesla autopilot that was really favorable for Tesla, but was called out by a lot of other academics. And Lex's response was just to block everybody that was critical of it. And now it's almost impossible to find his research paper. But it did, of course, get Elon Musk's attention, which I'm sure was Lex's main goal with it.
It makes for a fun chat, I think. So one guy that I've talked to several times, who's slowly becoming a friend, is a guy named Elon Musk.
And because of Lex's association with MIT, AI, and Elon Musk, now some people think Lex is an MIT professor and an AI genius that works on Teslas.
Like Lex Fridman went on Joe Rogan the other day, and he's a AI genius guy. He does all the Teslas and stuff.
So he managed to leverage those credentials into getting Joe Rogan and Elon Musk's attention. You know, basically he's a professor.
These are good business moves, man. Look, I'm judging him on his word about what he does. To judge him as a fellow clout shark, as the clout shark that I am, in this wicked battlefield of attention. I respect the hustle, Lex, because I respect the hustle. Maybe no one respects you. Maybe everyone thinks you're a fraud. Maybe everyone thinks you're a midwit, but you got Elon Musk in your phone, and you got Joe Rogan in your phone. So, hey, where the fuck am I? You're eating a cupcake with Elon Musk, man. I'm doing something wrong. I'm not eating a cupcake with Elon Musk. I'd give it all up, dude. Tomorrow, if Elon Musk called me up and said, "Hey, Art Chad, stop shitting on me. I'm gonna give you $1 million, and we're gonna start you a podcast, and you're gonna shill me," I'd take it, dude. I'd take all the goddamn money. I wouldn't do that. This is a bit. I was going into this, but I would not do that. He did the Teslas. You wouldn't get it. He did the Teslas. Lex Fridman, the guy who did the Teslas.
Selling out pays more.
Thanks, Shodanks, for the 2. Selling out does pay more. And never, ever, ever, I've said this many times, and I'll continue to say it. You look at these people who seem to be closely associated with power, and who seem to be getting ever more wealthy and popular because of their associations with power. Do not assume they are telling the truth. Do not assume they have any fucking integrity in the slightest, because they do not.
Professional Elon Musk and Joe Rogan dick rider, which can get you pretty far. I mean, he's one of the top podcasters now, but the amount of glazing you have to do is pretty.
This is good. Elon is one of the greatest CEOs in history. He has given his heart and soul to helping Tesla team repeatedly achieve the impossible. If you're a Tesla shareholder, go vote. Yes.
What did I just fucking hear?
What?
Elon's the greatest CEO in history.
Lex Fridman.
No. Okay, Elon. This is going to be a video, but Elon is the greatest CEO of ever.
Yeah.
But for one reason, he's the best capital raiser. He's the best person to get people to give him money in the last basically ever. And because the 2010s was dominated by who could raise the most money,
yeah,
that's why he's.
I can see that. I'm excited. You should make your Elon video.
Oh yeah.
I want to see that. Would do numbers. I've been on the Elon hate train.
Oh yeah.
I like that. I like that analysis because I have yet to hear that analysis of people saying that obviously he's a huckster, but the actual no, he is good at something and he's good at raising capital and that's his success. I have not seen that angle yet. You should make that video as soon as possible.
Yes, I'm gonna drop my rent-seeking one, and then that's actually fuck it next. Fuck Ray Dalio too, but that's on back.
Yeah, Ray Dalio.
Raising capital, also known as lying.
Oh, it's my emoji come from when I get super chat.
Oh, super. Hey, raising capital is not known as lying, although you know, you could be a little bit deceptive-ish. Like when I was in my, I was 22, I was raising money from a bank and family offices for a private equity fund, and whenever they asked our age, we would imply we're old by, oh, my business partner, his fiancée of 7 years. They're like, oh, these guys must be 30. And if they asked, we'd be like, oh, mid-20s, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good lie.
Yeah. And then by the time they get my ID, and they're like, wait, you're what? It's too late.
It's too late. You're already here. Yeah, make the Elon video. The Ray Dalio video is evergreen.
Yeah.
The Elon video is topical right now. That should be out as fast as possible.
Yes. Thank you. Fuck yeah.
Net loss, everybody. Subscribe to him on YouTube. He's it's gonna be a net loss century. You know, they say it's gonna be a Chinese century. It's gonna be a net loss century. Go look up a good friend Net Loss, making his break on YouTube right now. Just started. Great finance videos. He was in private equity, exited, and now he's a YouTuber. But yeah, great dude. Go subscribe.
Embarrassing.
Right, it was this. Congrats to Elon and Tesla for continuously pushing the limits of what's possible with robotics and AI. I love this narrative. Also, Shadanks, thank you for the 2 again. I love this narrative that Elon Musk, what Tesla, if I'm not mistaken, right? The business incentive for Tesla is that green technology is in. There's so much money in green technology, and there's a market to fill for a mass consumer electric car. Okay, fair enough. Great business incentive. The moral incentive is that we should switch from fossil fuels to electric cars as fast as possible, and somebody needs to create the market to do that, and Elon Musk happens to be the person. Great, cool. Did a lot with Tesla. I totally accept that premise. So why now is he aligning himself, if he is supposed to be the climate change, not ideologically climate change, but literally just like, this is a problem, there's a hole to fill, I'm going to fill it, blah, 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 blah. Why is he aligning himself with the coal and steel and gas president, right? Like, he clearly doesn't care about whatever the moral and ideological base of what Tesla is supposed to be, which is a consumer electric car that anybody can have access to. He doesn't give a fuck about that. He never did, but now he has no incentive to care about it at all. So any argument that you could have made to defend Elon Musk on some like a more left-wing, like pro-climate stance is out the fucking window. Thank you, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, for helping humanity reach out toward the stars. Oh my god, dude, I cannot take the fucking space people. We need to get rid of space people. People who are obsessed with fucking space, against the wall. Eventually become a multiplanetary species. I hope to see a friendship and some friendly competition develop between them over time, and to chat with both together on a future podcast. Fuck you.
Thing. I mean, that Joe Rogan song Lex performed felt like a humiliation ritual. But, there's a lot of people competing for Rogan and Elon's attention, so you have to take drastic measures sometimes. Like, when it comes to glazing Elon, it's not easy to compete with some of these people like Ian Miles Chong.
I love this fucking tweet. I saw this tweet live, dude. I love when I see shit that gets cemented as a meme and I see it live off the fucking floor. List of games I have not played. Every GTA game. Elon Musk. Tried, but didn't like doing crime. GTA 5 required shooting police officers in the opening scene. I just couldn't do it. Ian Miles Chong. I'm glad shooting cops in Cyberpunk 2077 is completely optional. Never finished GTA 5 either. How do you end up like this, dude? What happened in your life that you end up like this? What cards get fucking dealt to you that you end up like this? You're a fucking anti-video game Elon Musk reply guy. It's so funny.
But Lex, he'll give him a run for his money. I mean, these two spend so much time on Twitter just thinking of ways to praise Elon. And during this past Valentine's Day, this was really cringy. Elon, his girlfriend, posted a picture of her and their kids. And then Elon responded with like a heart emoji, and then she responded with the same thing. And then for some reason, Lex responded to both of them and said, loving this, with a heart emoji, and the comments are like, dude, this is creepy, this is so weird, what are you doing? And then also on Lex's podcast, he'll praise Elon every chance he gets, and he'll even ask his guests questions like this:
A little bit more love. What do you admire in the name of love about Elon Musk?
And Lex always says shit like this. He's always talking about the importance of love, and he just sounds so childish. Like, he thinks everything can be solved through the power of love and forgiveness. Like, when he had on Zelensky, he said he just needs to learn to forgive Putin, which, no matter what side you're on there, to think that those two are going to forgive each other is just absolutely insane.
I'm gonna kill myself, dude. I'm gonna blow it. I'm gonna end it all, dude. I'm gonna blow my fucking goddamn brains out live on stream right now. I swear to God, I'm going to do it. I'm gonna scar you all with extreme gore.
Did you see ZRJVH66VDQ? He ends Elon's career.
No, but I would love to watch that. I would love to watch that right now. Why do people hate Elon? He's such a good guy. He's helping the shareholders. Love is the law. Love under Elon Musk. Instagram moment. Yeah, Instagram live moment. Blow my fucking brains out. Because I can't take these people. I can't take the space people. I'm space racist, dude. Space racism, astrology. I'm racist against people who want to go to space. It's its own category of brainworm, and I swear to fucking God, these people would bulldoze millions of Americans to build anything that would get them closer to going to fucking space. They're all dying, old oligarchs with way too much money who fear death, and all they want is a goddamn empire. All they want is their name etched into fucking history books for the rest of the time. It's all they care about. They would destroy the country to spend 1 minute on fucking Mars so that it can be written in stone for the rest of the time that Elon Musk was the person to do it. It's all he cares about.
But Lex acts like he lives in a fairy tale world, and whenever there's a conflict or a problem, he thinks it can just be solved with the power of love. And you can tell even the guests he has on his show think it's kind of goofy how much he talks about this. And sometimes he even has trouble keeping a straight face when he mentions it.
I gotta ask you about love.
I heard you're into this now.
Into this love thing?
Yeah. Do you think this is your solution?
I had a great conversation with my girlfriend the other day about how men realize things in their early 20s from mushroom trips that like women just inherently know. And it really feels like Lex Fridman wasn't a person until he was like 41. And then he did ayahuasca and he's like, wait, we're all the same thing. We're all human, man. It's always been about love and connection and communication. It was so funny.
To your depression?
No, I'm just trying to, like you said, the enlighten people in a cage. I'm trying to solve. But in that sense, I would say the power of love is the philosophy you might apply to Brett. Any chance you talk to Joe again and reinvigorate your friendship?
Yeah, well, I reached out to him privately when I saw that clip.
Did you use the power of love?
And in my opinion, this whole image he portrays of being all about love and understanding just seems like a facade. I mean, he tries so hard to act like he's a really thoughtful and caring person who just wants to understand everybody and their opinions and perspective.
And I'm willing to be patient, to learn, to listen, to humble myself with knowledge for the sake of knowledge itself. I try to think deeply about the world, to look for the beautiful ideas in the minds of others, and to be inspired by them.
But then he goes around blocking anybody that's even remotely critical of him, even people in the same field, you know, AI and computer scientists. He'll block them, even if you like.
Why? Like, how do you end up like this, man? How do you end up like this? It's all these people care about, man. All these people care about is their fucking careers, dude. It's the banality of evil, man. It's the banality of evil. It's fucking Adolf Eichmann shit. It's Adolf fucking Eichmann shit, dude. These people would do anything to get closer to power. These people do anything to create a narrative progression in their head on how they are getting to positions of power. They'd fucking stop at nothing, dude. Lex Fridman and his power of love. I don't trust this guy for 1 fucking second, dude. This guy would bulldoze. This guy would bulldoze a black neighborhood to build a mansion for Elon Musk. Weird analogy. This guy would, I don't know. This guy would just like start ripping the heads off babies if it meant that he could get a position, in an official position in Tesla.
Like the wrong tweet, he'll block you. And then also a ton of people have been banned from his subreddit. And I guess if you even ask any questions about his background or anything, you'll get banned. Like if you say he graduated from Drexler and not MIT, they'll ban you. So this doesn't really seem like somebody who's all about having conversations and understanding where people are coming from. And then also one time, Mark Norman, he told this story about how he was doing a podcast with Lex, and it was at a hotel, and Lex needed to print something, but the printer wasn't working, and he said Lex started yelling at the lady who's working there. And Mark sounded pretty surprised by it, because obviously if you listen to Lex's podcast, he sounds very even-tempered and relaxed, and he talks a lot about love and compassion.
Appealing to power is the cheat code to attention.
Thanks for the 2, and yeah, definitely 100%, dude. Appeal to power. I mean, dude, if you care about, it's good advice. If you read 48 Laws of Power. If you don't care about your own morality, you stand for nothing, and you want as much from people as possible. Appeal to power. Jesus Christ, appeal to power. It's going against it doesn't do me any good, man. I would I'll tell you, dude. When I started this YouTube channel, and especially when I was making more culturally conservative videos, and I had a bit of a culturally conservative audience that I was developing, which I still kind of do. I still kind of am culturally conservative, but not to an extreme sense. I'm not going to be like an anti-woke YouTuber. I try not to be. But at the time, I really had a fork in my career where I was like, I could be the everything is woke, gay, and retarded guy. And I could make a fuck ton of money doing it. And I could get powerful connections by doing it. I knew I had that option. And what's up, sort of Imperium? I knew I had that option, and I didn't take it because it's maybe I'm too moral. I am maybe too I'm not psychopathic enough to make it to a real position of power in this world. I'll make my videos. I'll do my writing. I'll do the shit I like to do. I don't see a future. Where I mean, dude, if I get to a point where I'm like a extremely famous person, I fucked up, dude. I fucking sold my goddamn soul. But you know, I don't know. Going against this shit does not get me anywhere. Doing this shit doesn't get me as far as it could. If I made a video right now talking about fucking how everything's DEI, gay and retarded and bad and evil, if I did that right now, dude, I'd be way farther ahead in my career. But I'm not gonna do it. You can't make me do it, man. I'll die on my fucking on my hills of my own morality.
But then if a printer breaks down, he'll flip out.
Well, what's fun is we did it in a hotel in New York. He was in town for some reason, and the printer wasn't working in the lobby, and I got to watch him yell at the lady behind the desk.
Please stay true to that forever.
I always try, man.
And that was weird, seeing him not be that robot guy. He was like, "What the hell? The printer doesn't work? Get your shit together." And some girl like, I don't know. And I want to be like, "Hey, that's the autistic guy."
And this part of the podcast was originally posted as a clip, like to the We Might Be Drunk clip channel, but then it was deleted, which makes me think Lex told them to delete it. So this guy's just a really strange character. I mean, he's like an enigma, and it seems like he came out of nowhere. You know, like somehow Rogan found out about him and had him on, and then he started his own podcast and right away had on Elon Musk. And now he's one of the biggest podcasters in the world and has on the same caliber of guests as Rogan, like Mark Zuckerberg, Donald Trump, Kanye West, and even people that Rogan hasn't had on that he probably wants to, like Jeff Bezos. And then also for some
Art Chad, Artbreakfo WFTC7WRZM. It is Lex related.
I'll pull up once I'm off this. I'll pull up some links.
reason Lex spent a Thanksgiving with Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. So Lex's rise to fame, in my opinion, just feels kind of contrived, like he's an industry plant or something. I mean, even Ari and Mark during this podcast I just played were like, this guy just popped up out of nowhere and everybody's acting like they know him already. It's kind of weird.
Big and new, just like everybody likes Huberman, everybody likes Lex Fridman. Everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna invite him to my wedding. I'm like, you didn't even know it existed 4 months ago. What the fuck are we talking
He gets
about?
Elon Musk, he gets Tucker Carlson, he gets Rogan, he gets all these giant names, and he's just like an MIT robot.
So even Rogan's comedy friends seem to be confused about why Lex is so popular all of a sudden. Like Tim Dillon, he thought the same thing after he did Lex's podcast. And this was maybe from him. He did Lex's podcast, and afterwards he's like, everyone says Lex is a genius, and I'm sure he is, but what does he even do other than whack off Elon Musk? And he just starts going off on him and Eric Weinstein. And this caused Eric to have like a mental breakdown. And he went on Rogan's podcast afterwards to prove what he's done, like his life's work. And it was a complete disaster. It was so embarrassing. I covered that on Patreon. Make sure you check that out. It was hilarious. But it sounds like Rogan convinces all his comedy friends to do Lex's podcast. And they go on there and afterwards they're like, that was cool, but who the hell is that guy and where did he come from and what does he even do?
He's crazy. He's a genius. I can't even believe he's talking to me. And everyone says he's a genius. I don't know if he's a genius. I'm sure he is a genius. What does he do? He's a coder?
Yeah, for AI. Yeah.
Wait, so what does that even mean?
So like
Does anyone have to ask credentials anymore?
I love
Everyone
this
goes,
bit.
Eric Weinstein's a genie. Does anyone know why? What is there anything they've done? No, truly, because all they do is talk. Is there anything they've built? Is there one appliance that they have anything to do with? Have they come up with something even like the Rotato, which peels and slices a potato as you could? Is there one thing any of them have done except whack off Elon Musk and talk? I'm literally asking. And I love them all. And I don't, but I do. But whatever. They're funny. But I mean, and you can't find a thing they do. What is their job? What is any of their jobs?
to do research.
Into what? Why and who? Where? Where's the what? They all do research all day. What are they researching? They're just talking about trans people.
Oh, fuck. Dude, Tim's the best, man. Tim never fails. Tim never fucking fails. He's always on the fucking ball.
They're all supposedly tech geniuses who's talking about who has a cock. I'm dead serious. and all they're talking about is if somebody's tucking a D.
So that might be his best rant. I mean,
all they do is talk about trans people. It's so fucking true. Fuck.
It's so funny. Like, Rogan tries to convince all these people that Lex is a super genius AI researcher, which maybe he is, but at this point, he's just a podcaster. That's the only thing he's known for. Nobody knows him outside of that. You know, people just know he's involved in AI. That's about it. And I think most people believe he went to MIT or he teaches there because he's always bringing it up, but he never went there. He actually went to Drexler. That's where he graduated from. But he never really mentions that, and he only seems to bring up MIT, I think, to sound more legit. But if he really is this super genius who's doing all this really important AI research, why is he spending so much time doing podcasts and making songs about Joe Rogan and all this other bullshit? You know, it seems like he really just wants to be famous. And some people who know him claim all he's really cared about is just gaining a following and becoming a celebrity. And I guess his strategy to do that was to convince Joe Rogan that he's some kind of AI genius and then also suck up to him and Elon Musk, which obviously worked well. I mean, Rogan promoted him like crazy and would always tell people to do his podcast. And one of the funniest moments was when he tried to convince Neil deGrasse Tyson to do his podcast. And he showed him this video of Lex playing the guitar in a self-driving car. And Neil, he couldn't have been less interested in it.
That's pretty good.
Oh my god, dude. Why the fuck? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Is it because it like is Joe just so big? Like Joe just endorses him and then he gets famous? Is that how this works now? You get the Joe Rogan endorsement and then you're famous now? Because it seems like that's all you do. You get the Joe Rogan endorsement. What's up, Xanakin? Yeah, you get the fucking get our chat on Joe Rogan. It's funny, man. I always fantasized about going on Joe Rogan when I was a big Joe Rogan fan, and when I was back in my chud days. I always liked the idea of going on Joe Rogan. As most people do, when you're a big fan of something, you're like, I'd love to be on this program. I'd love to be in a position where I'm invited on this podcast, on this program. Weird little goal of mine I had. But now, I don't know, man. I got some questions for Joe. I got some serious questions for Joe. I got a bone to pick with Joe Rogan. As hyperbolic as I am, and not that it matters, I don't think any of these people are uniquely bad people. I don't think they're malicious. I don't think they're I don't think they're slimy. I just think they're unremarkable and very prone to power capture. They don't really have many morals or many things to land back on. Arch Joe Rogan meets Joe Rogan of the left. Art Chad, hey, thanks, man. I try to be Joe Rogan of the left.
Untrustworthy new media figures, sold out cheap.
Yeah, I mean, look, power capture, I'm pretty sure that's a 5th level spell. Yeah, when Joe Rogan was left as Joe Rogan. No, exactly. Look, there's the benefit of alternative media and the benefit of DIY media is what I'm doing right now. I have almost 150 concurrent viewers. I'm looking into stuff. I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm making a bit of money. Shit's good, okay? There's no gatekeeping in this new media landscape. It's not gate-kept. And gatekeeping is important because it's always talked about as this bad thing, but gatekeeping is what creates high culture. When there is culture that, even if it seems silly, there is a world you don't have access to without the proper lingo, without the proper way of conducting yourself, without the proper knowledge, it creates culture to venerate. And everything can't be the same. We need things that are better than other things. And what new media does, and I'm part of it, I'm a slot producer, okay? I have a live channel, Art Chad Live. Subscribe in the comments. I'm trying to get that online so I can make some fucking money. Cause goddamn, those fucking live channels make a bit of money. Anyway, besides that, look, things need to be gatekept. And with traditional forms of media, no matter how nefarious, no matter how sketchy mainstream media and old media outlets seem, there was a purpose to having prerequisites of knowledge and a way to conduct yourself to reach high levels in mainstream media and old school media. And it was a good thing. Even if sometimes, and most of the time, it was a bad thing, where if you said the wrong thing and you didn't talk the narrative of the news agency you worked for, you got fucking fired, you got censored, blah, 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 blah. It's important to have, at least have the people who are gatekeeping high culture to have gotten there because they know something that others don't and because they actually have value to society. When I look at someone like Joe or someone like Lex Fridman, their biggest issue is the medium. Their biggest issue isn't them as people. Joe is a regular dude, and he's always said he's a regular dude. There's nothing remarkable about Joe Rogan, other than like some businessman stuff, right? There's nothing remarkable about Joe Rogan. But Joe is now in a position where he is, you know, the gatekeeper of elite levels of alternative media, right? If you go on Joe Rogan and Joe likes you personally, vibes you correctly, you don't need to know anything. You don't need to be a remarkable person. You don't need to be interesting. You don't need to have a skill set. You don't need to make anything. You just need to get on Joe Rogan, have Joe Rogan like you, and then have Joe Rogan endorse you. And then once you get the Joe Rogan endorsement from a guy who really has no business endorsing people to be like media figures, and has no qualification to do so.
Gatekeepers for the interests of the powerful.
No, exactly. No business doing that. And then that happens, and you get people like Lex Fridman, who Lex Fridman has no position being influential. He has no business being as influential as he is. He has no business having a podcast that had got fucking Vladimir Zelensky on. He has no business talking to fucking Zelensky about the Russo-Ukraine war. He has no business doing that. But he's there because Joe has just personally likes him. And the gatekeeping fucking warlord gorilla man that gatekeeps the concept of alternative media and the high ranks of alternative media has personally endorsed him to a point where he can talk to fucking Zelensky. That's annoying. I don't like that. That makes me wish mainstream media still had some relevance and that we should go back to mainstream media and we should go back to old school forms of gatekeeping. Institutions and that shit are important. The entire rant applies to horseshoe theory, by the way, but at least you guys... Yeah, no. I agree. I am not... Same with you know, anything I do where I seem hypocritical, I'm totally aware of my own hypocrisy. I'm aware that I am also a guy talking on a live stream about politics, and I don't have much business doing that. I think it's funny, and I like being entertaining, and I can get myself going, okay? Same with horseshoe theory. Horseshoe theory, me and Greg don't know shit. We know a lot about YouTubers and internet culture and like schizopolitics. That's our value add. But we're kind of funny, and the podcast is kind of enjoyable, and I don't want anyone to ever think it's anything more than that. But, you know, we have no business. If for some reason Putin wanted to come on horseshoe theory, I would have no business trying to mitigate the conflict between Russia and Ukraine on the form of a podcast with hosts who don't know fucking anything about the conflict, you know? It's just where, I don't know. I respect institutions and I respect mainstream media for that sole reason. And I believe the hate it gets is justified and it could be fixed, but the concept of gatekeeping doesn't need to be thrown out because people have misused it in the past. Things should be gatekept.
Lex can shred. Give me some of that. You gotta listen to this. Listen to this.
Joe Rogan is directly related to Mussolini.
I'm gonna look into that because that sounds funny as fuck.
Have you done Lex's podcast?
No.
You would love him. He's an AI researcher from MIT originally, and now he's mostly doing independent work and doing his own podcast. And brilliant guy. You would love him. And he's got an amazing podcast too.
Okay, so here it's going to be in this section.
I don't think you're interested in Lex's podcast.
Of course he's not fucking
Seems
interested.
like he's not paying attention.
No, hang on. I got this.
Lex,
no, thank you for the tip.
I'm trying to get him on, buddy.
I'm trying to get him in.
Lex actually is one of the most brilliant people I know.
Oh, Joe, fine. You know, if I was a dad, if I was a suburban dad who went hunting on the weekend and enjoyed the gym and hanging out with my friends, and I knew a guy who was also... who just tells me he's an AI researcher and yaps about shit, I would also say that's the most brilliant guy I know. This is, how many viewers is it? Like, this is like a 50 million, like a 20 million view podcast? Like this episode specifically? You know, on that level, I don't know if it's responsible to endorse a huckster like Lex Fridman. But he doesn't think they're friends, right? Again, you're getting a inside look into the interpersonal relationships of like a bunch of friends, but for some reason it's happening at the scale of being viewed by 30 and 40 million people and dictating real world politics and policy. Neil deGrasse, not impressed by people playing his game. Yeah, seriously. Toronto basements is where culture is born. Hey man, it's fucking true. CCCRU forever. We got a sign. We have a sign on the door now that says CCCRU. Think about that. We got a sign made. You know how fucking official that is? Who's there? We got 150 people here? I want the Wikitubia article about the CCRU done. I want it done by the night. Somebody get on that. Somebody get the Wikitubia article on the CCCRU done. Okay? Forever.
I think you would love talking to him.
For an interesting quote here from Walter Bagehot.
And I'm not saying Lex is a bad podcaster, but I don't know why Rogan feels the need to tell everyone they need to go on there. You know, it's not like his podcast is that unique. I mean, it's like the same thing as Rogan's, and Lex has a lot of the same interests. He talks about the same topics, and he's heavily inspired by Rogan. So I don't know why Joe feels like all these people that just did his podcast need to go do another one with this random AI researcher. And
I feel bad for Duncan Trussell, man. I love Duncan Trussell. Duncan Trussell, Midnight Gospel is one of the greatest pieces of media ever produced. I fucking love Duncan Trussell. I feel bad for Duncan because he's like clearly a dude who's just a chill comedian who's now part of this high-level chess game that he doesn't seem like he wants to be part of or cares particularly about. I like when Duncan and Joe talk, because Duncan and Joe are like best friends and they just shoot the shit and they're funny. That's great. I want to hear two friends shoot the shit and be funny while I'm walking to work. That's way better. That's way better. Duncan Trussell, come on Horseshoe Theory. I love Duncan Trussell, dude. I fucking love Duncan Trussell.
Nobody even knew about not too long ago. You know, it'd make more sense if he just had on tech people. But for him to have on somebody like Jocko Willink, that just doesn't seem like something that needs to happen. But I'm sure Rogan set it up and it's probably like, oh, you got to do this podcast. And then he went on there and it seemed like right away he's thinking, why am I here?
Is it tragic or beautiful to you that some of the closest bonds that have formed between people are through war often?
I think it's both tragic and beautiful, and for the obvious reasons.
What are some of the worst aspects of when you were in Iraq? What are the things that the hardest on you?
Having my guys killed. Hopefully surf, if the waves are good.
Surf for...
How good are the waves?
Let's say they're good. Painful. This is a perfect day. This is a perfect waves. Why do you surf?
It's fun.
Okay, this is fun.
What? Oh god, that's fucking painful to watch, dude. Oh god, that's painful to watch.
Okay, man and nature, which is like what surfing is the ultimate, is the power of the infinite power of the ocean versus a little silly looking man on a board.
See, that could be that's an interesting quip. You know, it's not very deep. It's an interesting quip if he yelled it. If he said surfing, it's like man and you know, it's the ultimate symbol of man versus nature. You know, there's a funny diatribe you could go on there, but Lex is the wrong guy to do it. Lex, stop being so serious. Relax a little bit. Talk a bit faster. Talk a bit more with a bit more expression. Slow down a little bit, okay? Sorry, speed up. Don't slow down. Don't slow down anymore. Speed up. Just chill. Relax. Get into it.
You could say it's the infinite power of the ocean versus a silly looking man on a board, or you could say it's fun.
And Lex.
I'd eat thank you, Cucumber Fiesta. I'd eat Brogan if it was a burger. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me.
Just really wants to be like Rogan. You know, he has a lot of the same interests. He's into jujitsu, comedy, hunting, lifting, and he'll try to convince people that he's an alpha male. Like, he hates the idea of people thinking of him as a nerd or a beta. So he has to remind people that he's an alpha and he has a Rogan inside him and he's a man's man because he likes to lift heavy objects.
Okay, so I love fighting. I've been in street fights my whole life. I'm as alpha in everything I do as it gets. And the fact that on Joe Rogan said that I thought Scent of a Woman is a better movie than John.
Oh, it's a sad. Yeah, just accept that you're a nerd, man. It's fine. You know, there was a point in my life where I really wanted to be alpha. I really wanted to be a big alpha male. It's all I really cared about it, and I accepted. I accepted who I am as a person. And who I am as a person is an alpha male. A sigma male. I'm not an alpha, I'm a sigma. And once I accepted I was a sigma, I learned what a dark sigma really is. And it's like a door opened up for me when I realized I wasn't alpha, when I realized I was a dark sigma. It's like a whole new world opened up for me. It was like getting diagnosed with autism, where all of a sudden my life made sense. Once I realized I was a dark sigma, my whole life made sense. And since the day I realized I was a dark sigma, everything changed. But you can just be a nerd too. It's okay to be a nerd. Women like nerds. You ever talk to a woman? I definitely thought Brogan was a strange name punning on Bro Rogan. No, Jesus Christ. I hope that never gets. I hope that never gets retconned. I'd be so sad if people just associate my name. It's like if my name was I was looking up Jeffrey Epstein stuff and I found this random guy's LinkedIn profile that's also named Jeffrey Epstein. That sucks. The Rogan Brogan connection also sucks for me because I have no association or I have no reverence for Joe Rogan. But here I am. Anyway, you ever talk to a woman? You ever talk to a woman and and think about like what women like, you know? Because that's ultimately all this shit's about is making women like you, and you know, making men like you as well. But you know, these people who are obsessed with the concept of the platonic ideals of masculinity and of alpha maleness. You know, it's all in context to sex, and I don't know many women who like dating or being around those types of men. Women, you know what women really like? You know what women love? You know what hobbies women find sexy? Reading books. Fucking and nerd is a nebulous term here, because nerd, there's two types of nerds. There's like, I'm autistic and I fucking read shit on the internet all day. That's my type of nerd, okay? I'm a nerd like that. Then there's like video games and hobbies and pop culture things that you use to identify yourself and pin yourself into reality. That's cringy. Women, no one likes that kind of nerd, because it's not a person. You're not a collection of hobbies. You are not a the fact you like Zelda, the fact you own a Nintendo Switch says nothing about your character. And to define yourself with your interests and like literal pop culture icons and to use this to define yourself, that's weird. But being a sensitive, like, indoor boy, you read a lot of books, you're like a painter, you're a writer, women love that shit. Women fucking love a soft, you know, as long as you're not retarded, women love a soft nerd. And men respect it too. Nerds built the world. You can be a nerd. You don't have to be an alpha, Lex. Just be yourself.
Wick, put me into this beta category. Like, I'm a total bro in a sense. Like, I may not look like it, but I have like a Rogan inside me.
Crying when the dog dies in the movie. Dude, I cried last night about I shed a single tear. When I opened the stream, I said I was drinking cocktails and listening to African music last night. The music moved me to tears. I danced for 2 hours, and I went out for a smoke after the show at like 4 a.m. and I was a little tipsy, and I just started ranting about how beautiful the music was. And like in the rant, I shed a tear because I was like, how beautiful this fucking music was. I was so moved by it. But yeah, that's fine, you know? Don't sob. Shed a tear of beauty. Cry when the dog dies. I cry when I see babies. I shed a tear when I see a little baby. It's totally fine, man. You can be that kind of guy. People respect it.
And my dad, like, I really am a man's man, except for the times in like Harvard Square and academia rubs off on me. But for the most part, man's man.
What does a man's man mean? May I get
Like,
granular?
there's just a list of stupid shit you do. Like, I like lifting heavy things.
I like farting. I like shitting. I like burping. I like pooping. I like lifting heavy things. I like being stinky. I'm a man's man. I like farting and pooping. That's called being a man's man. When you get in your car and you poop your pants, you poop your jeans, and you fart and you burp and you smell bad, and you lift up your truck and you put your truck back down, I'm a man's man. Don't get it twisted. I'm not no beta nerd. I'm a poop maxer. I'm a poop meister. They come to me when they need poop.
I like building stuff. I love the idea of hunting. I love fishing. I like knives and guns and.
Fuck, dude. I know we already watched this clip. It's just a really funny thing to say. I'm a man's man. I like fish. I like the idea of hunt. I've never hunted. I like the idea of hunting. I like conceptually the concept of hunting it fascinates me because of my man brain. Conceptually, not literally. I've never done it. I'm never gonna do it either. But like on paper, it's a cool concept.
Risk, danger.
Risk and danger, yeah.
Okay, so like the carnal sort of.
I love fighting, combat, violence.
But not in relationships?
I mean, like literally getting in a street
Yes.
fight. Just two monkeys going at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it.
The adrenaline.
The adrenaline, I'm an alpha, you know, like I'm
I like fire trucks. I like monster trucks. I like tires. I like oil. I like tools. I like planes. I like ambulances and guns. I'm an alpha. Hot Wheels cars. Beef jerky. Jack Link's brand teriyaki sticks from the dollar store. 2 for $1. They will kill you. I'm a risk taker. I like carcinogenics. John Wayne Cookies, what's up? I like turtles. I like Nerf and Lego. I like the concept of war. I've never been in a war, but conceptually, it's just like two monkeys going at it. And at the end of the day, we're all monkeys. right?
I'm a badder motherfucker than you.
I'm not buying that even remotely.
I hate when.
Hey,
That's
bro.
not true.
Yeah, so he just desperately wants to be seen as an alpha male, and he also probably just wants to get Rogan's acceptance and approval. Like, he's always trying to impress him. But it's just embarrassing if you have to go around telling people you're an alpha male. I guess he just needs to remind people, though, you know, and he also needs to remind people that he has a PhD and he knows what he's talking about.
If you're going to criticize me about my exploration of ideas in Bitcoin, you have to also acknowledge that I'm a human being that got like a PhD and stuff. Like, I did some hard shit that it could be in farming or it could be in whatever. Like, I've lived life and I've really thought deeply and I really care. Like, I know a lot of shit, and it's possible that I actually have a lot of ideas that you can learn from. Now, if it's agriculture, fine, or if it's artificial intelligence, fine. Like, I know what I'm talking about certain.
Yeah, so I guess Lex knows what he's talking about because he has a PhD and stuff. So you could tell he's just really insecure about people not taking him seriously or not thinking he's an intellectual. Just like Eric Weinstein, who still hasn't recovered from Tim Dillon questioning what he's done. And if you want to hear more about that, I covered that whole saga over on Patreon. It was hilarious. I highly recommend it. And they're also.
I want to see this. I want to see the Tim Dillon, Eric Weinstein.
Liking things for the sake of others' opinions.
I like things for the sake of others' opinions. I'm a man. I don't want to watch the whole video. I want to see the clips.
I'm like, but he's great. He's a genius. Everyone says he's a genius. I don't know if he's a genius.
There we go.
I'm
Fuck.
sure he is.
Jesus
a
Christ.
genius. What does he do? He's a coder.
Yeah, for AI. Yeah.
Wait, what? So what does that even mean?
So like he.
Does anyone have to ask credentials anymore? Does anybody know if any? Everyone goes, Eric Weinstein's a genie. Does anyone know why? What is there anything they've done? No, truly, because all they do is talk. Is there anything they've built? Is there one appliance that they have anything to do with? Have they come up with something even like the Rotato, which peels and slices a potato as you could? Like, is there one thing any of them have done except whack off Elon Musk and talk? I'm literally asking. And I love them all. And I don't, but I do. But whatever. They're funny. But I mean, can I ask? Because I always shit on Gary Vee. And then you got these people that are all geniuses. And we're not supposed. And you can't find a thing they do. What is their job? What is any of their jobs?
To do research.
Into what? Why and who? Where? Where's the what? They all do research all day, but they're all on Clubhouse for 9 hours. What are they researching? They're just talking about trans people. They're all supposedly tech geniuses who's talking about who has a cock. I know, I'm dead serious. I think the non-binary thing's is wacky too. I'm not a fan of women getting beaten up by men in sport, but it's like these are the best minds of our time, and all they're talking about is if somebody's tucking the D. This is all they talk about. Weinstein and Heather Heyer, they talk about trans people for 9 hours. They just sit in a room with cats running around, and Heather Heyer, I mean, a voice that deep to talk about gender all day. God love you. She's like, the biological realities of the trend. My name is Heather Heyer. My name is Heather Heyer. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? These are all you can't ask if what anyone's done. They're just, I'm not trying to be.
They're very
I love
secretive.
Lex. I bet Lex is smart. Yeah, they are very secretive, right?
This is going to go out into the world. I was, you know this question, like, what has Eric Weinstein ever done? I did that. I did the marginal revolution using gauge theory.
Stop. That question is Tim Dillon joking around.
Yeah, I know.
He said, "What did he never created the Rotato? He was
that was
just
very
joking. He was fucking around."
That was the funny part about it. He was joking.
But he's saying that because he knows you're brilliant.
I
Do you
love
understand?
him
The
too.
only reason why he can say that, if you were a loser, he couldn't say that.
You don't need to make me feel good about myself.
I know, but you brought it up again.
No, I'm saying something completely different.
Okay.
Oh my God, dude.
I
Fuck
actually
me.
have been scared of this question.
What question?
Tim's question taken seriously.
Who's going to take it seriously?
I'm taking it seriously.
Okay.
Oh my God, this is a good crash.
No, you're in a weird world. Okay, here's your weird world. You're in a world of serious intellectual people. But
You're
hanging
damn
out with,
straight.
You're also hanging out with Tim Dillon and me.
And I love it.
But but the problem is, like, you're conflating these two things.
No, Joe, I'm not that angry at Tim Dillon. It's not. I'm
not that angry. Do you hear that? You heard the word. You heard the word that? That's a problem.
Well, you're not that angry at Carlos Mencia.
I'm not angry at him at all.
I know, and I'm not angry at Tim
I'm
Dillon.
sad.
I'm sad for Tim
him.
Dillon. Anyway,
Shouldn't be sad for Tim.
Wait.
He's one of the most important comedians of our time.
Okay.
How dare you?
How dare I? It gave.
Oh my god, dude, the crash out, dude. The Eric Weinstein was 2 years ago. Fuck me, dude. Oh god, never think I'd do anything. Check his take on Israel-Palestine. Tim Dillon himself did. Well, I won't. It's like, sorry, I gotta look at the links that Shadank sent. Dude, yeah, never accuse me of doing anything. Never ever accuse me of doing anything. All right, I've done nothing. I went to art school. I got a bachelor in fine art. I've shown like 3 paintings, and I make YouTube videos because I read books. I make YouTube videos and I stream. That's it. I deserve nothing. I'm kind of funny. And I'm building a scene in Toronto. That's all I've done. That's all I've done. That's all I will do. Never put me in a position. I never want anyone ever to have to ask, what has Art Chad done? I've done nothing. Maybe at some point in the future I will. But as of now, I'm hanging out. Okay, let's get to these links. What do we got here? We got this link that Shadank sent. If I can fucking Control C. How do I do this here?
Hey folks, in today's video we're back with
No,
more.
not a Belatra video. There we go.
Lex Fridman, the one-man question asking machine. Literally wake up pondering the meaning of life.
This is Wormwood?
Contemplating
Dude, I
consciousness
fucking love Wormwood.
breakfast.
Dude, we're watching another one of Wormwood's videos after my shit's fucking broken, dude. My browser's busted. Sorry, my shit's frozen right now. Give me a second here. Sorry, I'm busted. Okay, we're back. We're good. Okay.
Lex Fridman, the one-man question asking machine. Literally wake up pondering the meaning of life. Sip kombucha while contemplating consciousness during breakfast. Scroll through Twitter. What's the meaning of this tweet? Block. Tesla tries to recruit. But nah, gotta ask people about love and stuff. Head to Podcast Studio. The Temple of Inquiry. Walls covered in existential questions written in the ink of Joe Rogan's third eye. Get bored. Unblock someone from Twitter just to block them again. The cycle of life and death. Blocking algorithm so tight, people think it's the next Bitcoin. Bro, open source your blocking algo. Please, bro. You don't understand, bro. Just open source it, bro. Bring on Elon, Naval, and some 4D chess grandmaster. What is love but an algorithm of the soul? Ring. Echo mind-blown ampersand pseudo system. CTL restart simulation.service. Tweet out, what's the nature of tweeting? Block a few more anons. Joe Rogan nods approvingly in a parallel universe. Deepfake myself just to ask deeper questions. Go to bed in a Faraday cage to protect those valuable thoughts. Dream in recursive, self-improving algorithms. Wake up in a cold sweat, eyes wider than when I ask about love. My field just had an existential nightmare about the universe being a neural net trained by Elon. Dreams are now blocked. 403 forbidden. Yeet on a 10K run at 4 a.m., chased by philosophical dilemmas.
Dude, Wormwood is one of my favorite fucking creators. The music's really good too. Everyone fucking sub to Wormwood. Shit's so good.